What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new video. Today I want to talk about two things that are seriously ridiculous and are trending right now, which kind of, I guess, is a fancy way of saying they're getting more popular. One of the things I've tried to do a lot with the channel is stay ahead of most people and find these new picks to share with you all, and these two are going to be pick or ban very soon, I reckon. Just before we kick this off, it is a video with Pro Guide, so thank you to them for helping to edit this together for me. There is a link down below to check out the site, their guides, some of my guides, and they've also launched a new app as well. The two main things of this video are Tank Rengar and Tank Fizz. Both are back, both are better than ever. They don't die and they still do ridiculous damage. Trust me when I say that I am not happy with either of these. Like, I hate the tank meta just as much as you guys do, and sadly it seems like it's going to come back anyway. I honestly do not actually mind tanks. What I do mind are tanks that either one-shot me or do so much damage while taking none in return. That's exactly what both of these are. Timestamps are going to be down in the description if you want to skip to pass, but let's start with Tank Fizz because I think that's not as common yet at all. In my opinion, Tank Rengar is probably the dumbest thing in the game right now. It's so easy, so strong, but we'll get back to that after. So right in the preseason, actually said, we've aimed the Fizz rework at embracing what makes Fizz unique among all assassins, the best-in-class ranged initiation. I guess I actually kind of got one of those things right. He is the assassin that can build like a tank still and kill things, but this is for the jungle and also for the top lane, to be honest. Both are really good. Now, if you weren't sure, the main changes, I guess, were Q, a lower cooldown earlier, the Sheen works properly with it as well, your W causes a target to bleed, and it's actually got higher base damage than before. If they've taken that bleed damage for more than 2 seconds, the damage triples as well. It's also an auto attack reset now. The ultimate is bigger over the distance it travels. It has a higher base damage. If it goes for a really long distance, it's actually massive. AP Fizz is really good at the moment anyway. It seems to snowball so hard, does way too much damage, but we also had a massive problem with Tank Fizz before. They kind of killed it by lowering his base damage. Now though they've just added that back, it makes no sense. I even think his W might be better for Tank Fizz than it was before. If we just look at his kit, right, his passive takes less physical damage from basic attacks, which is better in a long fight to block more, right? His Q deals 100% AD plus bonus magic damage. His W applies the bleed. It's an auto attack reset, so you can use your auto then W immediately for 2 very fast attacks basically, and you can do triple its base damage. Its E is decent damage, dodge stuff as well. Your ultimate is good base. It holds them in place, slows, and lets you whack away at them. Now when I saw this rework, I was like, surely every part of that kit is good for a tanky bruiser again. The thing that stuck out the most was actually the 250 base damage on that W when it's tripled, plus the Sheen damage. Like, that is insane burst. Plus it's not even that long of a cooldown if you have cooldown reduction. So for the build, there are a few choices. You only really need one damage choice really, and in my opinion it comes down to Triforce or Hextech Gunblade. You could also get an Iceborne Gauntlet if you wanted to. Maybe you can get like 2 of these. It's not really needed though. Trinity Force, Sunfire, Deadman's Visage for top lane in my opinion. The sad thing is Fizz's base damage is so high that I've actually been watching a few Diamond players just go Sunfire straight up, then Iceborne, maybe Visage, Deadman's. I think Trinity is much better as a carry build, but that's for you to try and decide, I guess, with whichever you prefer. Sadly, you can even go Trinity and a Frozen Mallet if you really want it to be seriously annoying. You get on top of someone and they're never going to be able to get away. For the jungle, I actually think this might be even better. Your clear speed is really good because of your W. You destroy the bigger ones. It also refunds the cooldown and mana if you kill a small minion with it. Challenging Smite though and Cinderhulk is really what gets this going. So the damage reduction is great for dueling, plus you have the true damage. You get Trinity first, then you get Cinderhulk afterwards. It buffs all of your other tank items as well. You dive in, you do loads of damage, and you actually don't die. It's just stupid. For some of the spells as well, Flash is really not that important on Fizz, to be honest, especially if you're going to go tank. You can go maybe Ghost. With all of these tank builds for like every champion, you're more about sustained fight damage, I guess, right? In my opinion, that makes Ghost better because you can stick to your target easier and it makes you more annoying. You can also go Ignite, which gives you more kill potential, and this is my personal favorite for both top and jungle because I just like killing stuff, I guess. That's probably the worst reason I've ever given for something, but honestly, Ignite's just a load of damage and I like it. So item choices we kind of talked about. What about masteries? I've been using Thunderlords. It's more burst, again, killing stuff, I guess. Better ganks and good versus lower health champions. You can kind of run further. It doesn't really work as much anymore because it's AD and you have no AD ratios on your ability. The old Fervor was on hit damage, so it kind of made sense. AD, not so much. You could also go Courage of the Colossus. Your ultimate could proc it, I kind of think, but it could be decent, I guess, but not amazing. It's just broken, so maybe it works. Runes, attack speed, reds, armor, magic resist, and AP quints in my opinion. For top lane though, items would be either the Trinity Force build, the Sunfire one, or the Hextech one. Masteries are the same deal really. Like Thunderlords is good for damage, Grasp will be good for trading in just like slightly hard lanes, and the same runes. Just remember when you play this, using your W properly is insanely important to how much damage you're going to do. Hit them at 2 seconds, then use your W. You can even see this little trident icon above their head fill up. When it's full and it kind of bubbles, I guess, like as an animation around it, that's when you can use it for triple damage. That is the only part that needs some kind of brain to actually use. The rest of it is just dive in and kill stuff. So let's move on to Rengar, and we've seen damage Rengar mostly so far. It's pretty nuts, especially with his passive. It's plus 30% bonus AD if he kills all enemy champions at least once. That is insane. You easily one-shot people, right? Your empowered Q, by the way, is almost 400 base damage, which is a ton anyway, and a 240% bonus AD ratio. That is ridiculous. I cannot understand why that would actually be a thing. Like, if you have 600 bonus AD, for example, which isn't a ton, your Q alone would do 1800 damage. And that's only your empowered Q, not even like the normal ones that come before it. So I guess like that is a big part of it, but it's also your ult. When you leap to the nearest champion, you get that guaranteed crit. It means you just build Infinity Edge, and that will do an insane amount of damage because of the bonus crit damage. So you can tell by how salty I am that this is actually ridiculous, and I've been one shot a lot by Rengars, but that stuff is cool. But why build like that if you can go tank and still kill people insanely fast? If you guys have been following the channel, you know that I played a lot of Rengar. Like, he's probably my most played jungler except for Lee Sin, and the builds I've been testing personally so far, my favorite one, the most overpowered one: Red Smite, Black Cleaver, Cinderhulk, Deadman's Visage, and Sterix. That is the order I'm going at the moment, and it's absolutely ruining people. Red Smite lets you duel people. Remember, you're not as much of a burst build, but loads of sustained damage. So you land, you smite, and you just whack away with your autos. The damage reduction, the true damage, is better with that. You have the Black Cleaver, the damage over time increases, also health, damage, cooldown reduction. Cinderhulk is sad, but Black Cleaver is all the damage you really need. Deadman's more damage on that first auto, and Visage better healing from your W. I've also seen Warrior, Black Cleaver, then Deadman's, and Visage. I've actually tried it, but in my opinion, as stupid as this sounds, you don't even need the Warrior damage. You might as well go Cinderhulk for more tankiness. Because of his passive, you get more AD from normal from the Black Cleaver, right? Your base damage is already very high, 400 damage on a Q, 4-second cooldown with no cooldown reduction. Your E is even 250 base damage, like you have the crit from your ultimate. If I'm honest, it makes zero sense why you can build like this and still be able to ruin people. Like, actually, no, it makes sense. Like, it can actually work because his base damage is so high, but why should it work like that? You still semi-burst low health targets, and it's just insane, but you just don't die as well, and that is where his new W comes in more. It restores 50% of the damage he's taken in the last 1.5 seconds, or 100% versus monsters, so like Baron or just jungle camps. Imagine having 3,500 health now and constantly healing it back over a fight as well, plus you're doing damage. With the Visage and the cooldown reduction, you can actually take a Baron without losing any health, spamming your W over and over. It is just ridiculous. I had a little like a mini panic about this when my Rengar just didn't lose any health. I couldn't understand what was going on. One thing to bear in mind is your ultimate. Like, a lot of people are using this wrong now. So it's like okay, I'm gonna use this now because I want to fight and I have 30 seconds to find someone. You don't actually have to use this anymore just before you go into a fight or anything like that. It's such a high range. You can use this earlier now and stalk from further away. You definitely want to dive in, lock someone down with your E if you're the engage, or you let the other tank dive in and then you dive to the back of a fight. So this is my kind of cheat sheet. You can actually run this jungle and top lane. So far, I mainly run this in the jungle because I just play Rengar in the jungle. I don't really play him top lane, but I don't see any reason why this can't work top either. Mastery Thunderlords or Storm Raiders, maybe even Courage of the Colossus, I guess. Thunderlords is more burst and a bit better earlier. This is kind of my go-to at the moment, but Storm Raiders I've been trying a bit more and I really like it. You get that crit when you leap in and you can run around after, you avoid damage, you chase or escape. It's actually just really good synergy, I think, because you're going to proc that damage anyway when you jump onto someone. Courage is just broken anyway, so it could work. You'd have to hit your empowered E though, and in my opinion, it's not worth, but the mastery is like broken, so why not, right? Runes, you can actually just run AD. I like taking some cooldown reduction in my blues, but that's just me personally. And also for summoner spells, you might even want to take Ghost. As we said with Fizz, it lets you run at someone with your ultimate quicker, chase them, stick to them afterwards, and just run around a team fight. You don't necessarily need a flash if you're a tank. If you guys have any other trends or things like this in the comments, let me know. You've actually given me some really cool underrated picks in one of my previous videos. Let's see if you have anything for this as well. I really want to keep on top of new picks you can be trying out through Season 7 and the preseason. The others that I'm actually looking at right now as well, though, are Yasuo with Courage of the Colossus. A lot of people have mentioned this to me. Phantom Dancer, Frozen Mallet, and some other health items, even Titanic Hydra. When you jump into a team fight with your ultimate, you gain a massive shield. It also makes you seriously annoying in the lane phase. If you ult, you get your passive shield and the Courage shield. So it's kind of like tank Yasuo, but you still have a lot of damage. It's pretty ridiculous. Echo doesn't actually work as well anymore. Now, get this question a lot anyway. I know I'll get this question a lot on this video, but like the new fervor is not as good as the old one for Echo. The old one was on hit damage, so it would have been better because Echo attacked all the time. AD doesn't really do as much for him, so it's not going to be as good as the Fizz right now. I'll have to test it a bit more though. The last one is actually Renekton, because his ultimate does so much damage plus the base damage in his kit. It's weird, but like tank Renekton is legit, I think, especially with the Courage of the Colossus. We've already talked about this build, which is like the Black Lever, Titanic Hydra, then into Locket and Deadman's Visage and stuff like that, but I've actually even seen this in the jungle. I know this is super weird, but like, yeah, actually Cinderhulk Renekton was pretty legit, so I guess that's something else I have to try. Hope you guys enjoyed this video anyway. Let me know what you think of it. Thank you for watching until the end, but for now, let's go to the robots.